Hi there, gorgeous, and a very happy drugstore December to you, and Merry Christmas Eve to you also. In today's video, I am sharing the best makeup that I discovered in 2020. A lot of excellent finds here. This was an incredibly list to put together because there were so many good ones. But what I will tell you is that I already have done a few videos prior to this one this month with favorites in them also. I did my top 10 palettes under $10. I did a full face tutorial using my favorites from 2020. So there have been some products I've already mentioned, and if you missed those videos, I'll have them linked for you below. I'm not going to re-mention them simply because then I feel like that gets a little redundant. So yes, if you would like more favorites, check in the description box. We'll kick off this list with one of my most favorite finds, and it was unexpected, truly, from 2020, and that is the Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation. I have always been of the mindset that I need to wear a matte finish foundation because I have oily skin. Well, the Wet n Wild foundation proved me wrong this year. This is one of those that is luminous, it's radiant, it looks beautiful on the skin, but it hangs in there. It doesn't move, it won't transfer, it doesn't fall apart. And it truly changed my mindset on dewy finish foundations this year, and it became the pinnacle one that I compared everyone after that to. And when I tried a dewy finish foundation later on in the year, I would say, okay, well, I know that they can work for oily skin because the Wet n Wild one did. So this one is really terrible. And that was how I judged a lot of dewy finish foundations thereafter. But this one became my go-to. And I can't rave enough about it. And if you have oily skin and you've been a little hesitant about dewy finish foundations, I think you'd be really, really happy with the Wet n Wild one. Another one that I fell madly in love with this past year, and it became my go-to color. I was going to wear it for this video. I just simply forgot. I should have put it on. I wanted a purple lipstick today, and so that was what I chose, but I should have picked this one, is the L'Oreal Matte Lip Crayon in the shade No Fig Deal. Not only is the formula really great with the L'Oreal Matte Lip Crayons, but I love the applicator. It's like a lip liner and a lipstick in one, so you get very sharp edges. You don't have to worry about going outside the lines, and this particular color was my most favorite. I love it. So from a formula perspective to a color, applicator, etc., one of the best lipsticks of 2020. Number 7. I went back and looked more at number 7 makeup products this past year, and this next one really amazed me and became one that I wore pretty often in 2020, and that was the eyeshadow trio in the shade Emerald Stones. Beautiful pigmentation, no fading, no muddying, and so compact. I mean, look how little that is. Really easy, great for travel if you're looking for something like that. Another palette that I want to mention to you that is along the same lines as this one was a very recent discovery for me, but I cannot make this video without talking about it. And that was a rather new one that was released from Almay, and it's their Intense Eye Color Shadow Palettes. The one that I did a tutorial with recently is the one for Hazel Eyes, and you can see greens in there. It's so pigmented, a far cry from what Almay has turned into, from what I knew them as many, many, many years ago. I feel like the quality has just not gotten better. It's gotten worse, but this palette in particular changed my mind this year, and it's become a new go-to favorite of mine. I just love it. After I made that video, by the way, a lot of people were saying that they were starting to see them pop up in their CVS stores. So if you're interested in this one, CVS would be the place to look for it. Milani. Okay, the Rose Butter Lip Mask. This was a product that I was applying at night, every night before I went to bed, and I love how hydrating it is on my lips. You don't need much. It's got a beautiful light wash of pink to it. Not that you need that when you're going to bed at night, but if you want to wear it during the day, I love that it gives your lips a little bit of color and it provides excellent moisture on top of that. So that became my go-to lip balm from this past year. From Essence, their Velvet Matte Lipsticks were amazing. Typically, Essence does not last that long on my lips. The lipsticks don't anyway, and they are ones that I need to apply over and over again throughout the day. But at that price point, I never really faulted them for that because, I mean, we're talking like $2 here. It really doesn't matter. But these were different. Not only did they last longer on my lips than a traditional Essence lipstick would have, but they were very creamy, very soft, a great formula, and I feel like they've improved them a little bit more with this line, so 2 big thumbs up. Colourpop. There are 2 Colourpop products that I'll mention here simultaneously because they were just amazing and I feel like they need to be mentioned together. The first one was one that I discovered very early in 2020, and that was the Pretty Fresh Concealer. Unfortunately, I did get a shade that was a little lighter than my complexion. I still need to go back and get the correct shade, but what I loved about this one was when I discovered Robert Welsh's concealer technique, and I did a whole video on that. If you missed it, I'll put it below. But he was using a lighter concealer to highlight the inner corner of the eye and also the outer edge of the eye. And so that was how I started to use it this past year, and I love it. And I couldn't believe what a difference it made. So even though it's the wrong shade, it worked great like that. And this is one that when you use it under the eyes, it will not crease, it will not crack, it will not fall apart. It looks beautiful. So loved that one. The other one from Colourpop, a very recent discovery for me, and that was in a video this past week. I think it was Tuesday when this video came out. It is a dupe for the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, and that is the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer with hyaluronic acid in it. So I did a comparison between those two, and you can see that from swatching to application on the face to wear time, a 10-hour wear test, the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer held its own compared to the Bare Minerals, and it's half the price and you get more. I mean, what is there not to love about this product? Yes, I love it. I'm so happy I discovered it. The e.l.f. Bite Size Cheek Palettes. I was waiting for them to release products like this. So when they did, I was thrilled. And they came out with these little duos for the face, similar to the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palettes that they came out with earlier in the year. And very pigmented, no issues with application. They don't fade. They are striking on the skin. Not that great of a shade range to choose from. I wish that they would offer more colors within this line. Maybe they will add to it in the future, but at any rate, beautiful level of pigment. Highly impressed by these and cannot recommend them to you enough. From Believe Beauty, I also tried out these cream cheek blushes earlier this year, and they go on very vibrant on the skin. There is no issues with the application whatsoever, and they don't fade. They stay that way all day long. And it's a very natural flush on the skin. I was really, really happy with how they looked. But the one thing I will tell you with these is you have to be mindful of the foundation that you're wearing them over the top of. When I used them over the top of the Believe Beauty foundation, just as a for instance, for me, they didn't wear well, they faded, they looked terrible. And I was going to write them off right then and there. But a lot of you have taught me, no. Try it with a different foundation, try it with a different base. And so I did. I went back with an entirely different base. I cannot remember what I used, but I've tried them over a number of different foundations this past year, and every time they perform really well. So it does make a difference. If you struggle with them, if you try them out and that's your struggle, just try changing your base. And I think when you do that, you can find the right combo. I don't know scientifically why that happens, but it is real because it does make a difference. So just putting that out there. Another product I want to share with you that was amazing in 2020 is the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. I was really into this non-existent feeling type foundation products this past year, like BB creams, but I wanted something even lighter. And so I went with a lot of tinted moisturizers. And not only is this one really affordable, it's barely there. It's so lightweight. It doesn't transfer. It's a great face product if you're looking for something like that. LA Colors came out with a whole line of faux mink lashes this year, and I picked up the style called Jody. And oh my goodness, not only are these extremely affordable, but the quality is amazing. You would think that these would cost upwards of like $7 or $8 because the quality is that good. And the band is clear, which makes them undetectable on the eyes. So happy with these. I mean, I need to go back and get more because they were amazing. Tony Moly. Now, this is not a drugstore brand. This is one that you can actually find on Amazon. That was where I found it, but it is a Korean beauty brand. And I tried out their liquid liner earlier this year. It's like a gel liner. Rich, dark pigment, does not move. Seriously, one of the best I have ever tried, ever used, would highly recommend. All around excellent product, and it's made me want to go look at more Tony Moly products because I haven't tried anything from that brand. Maybe it's something new I can do in 2021. I would like to discover more Korean beauty brands. I actually had a brand reach out to me by email recently that has started a Korean beauty box, like, you know, the monthly beauty box subscriptions, and they send it each month with Korean beauty brands in it, and they want to send me one, but I haven't really said whether or not I want to do it. I'm still thinking about it, but I might say yes because that might be a really interesting one to try. Physicians Formula came out with a new mascara called their 3-in-1 Lash Mixologist. On one end, you have a wand for volume, and on the other end, you're given a wand for length. It is not a waterproof formula, and it will weigh the lashes down. So the way that I did try this one out was I mixed it with a waterproof mascara underneath. So I first applied the waterproof formula to help hold the curl in the lashes, and then I applied the volumizing mascara and the lengthening mascara, and oh wow, it made a true difference in how my lashes looked by that simple added step. And I love this mascara, by the way. It doesn't move. It's really easy to wash off, and it's become a new go-to favorite of mine. Maybelline came out with these Color Strike Cream eyeshadow pens this past year. So I picked up 2 different colors to try. This is a cream to powder type consistency, very easy to apply. The color is strong on the eyes. I did try them out with no primer because I wanted to see if they would last. On me, my oily eyelids, it didn't work. These are ones I do have to wear with a primer, but honestly, I've not found any product out there where I can get away with not wearing a primer personally. But overall, very happy with these and love, would highly recommend. Okay, another one here from Physicians Formula. I tried out their Muru Butter, I think that's how you say it, eyeshadow palette in the shade Tropical Days. And this was the first eyeshadow palette I had tried from the brand. I was blown away by the quality. I know people don't like this word when it comes to eyeshadows, but I'm just gonna say it. They were buttery. They were like butter. They were so smooth on the eyes and easy to apply. And it was such a great experience with these eyeshadows. They lasted all day. They didn't fade, and they were so vibrant, and I need to use this palette more. It was wonderful. Another product I discovered this past year that I ended up really loving more than I thought that I would is from Covergirl, and this is their Exhibitionist lip gloss. The shade that I ended up getting is called Ascension, and initially I didn't really know what to think about it. It's a gloss and it doesn't really have that much color to it, but the more that I wore it after I made the initial video with it, the more I fell in love with it. And I like that it's not a strong color on the lips. It's a very slight wash. And this one in particular is like my lip color, but better. And I loved it. And I also love the fact that it's not sticky and it doesn't feel weird on my lips. It's just very light, easy to wear, and it became a new favorite. Kiss came out with their Mascara lashes this past year. And initially when I saw this in the store, I was a little scared. And I'll tell you why. Because right next to the display, it said remover. Like you had to buy a bottle of remover for the system. And I kept thinking, well, that doesn't sound good. But what this basically is, it's supposed to be a replacement for lash extensions. Instead of going and getting lash extensions done, this is basically a way for you to do it at home. And a lot of people were comparing it as a dupe to Lashify, which is essentially the same idea. And so the way that you apply these is you go underneath the lashes. They give you a special bond, a special application, and et cetera, et cetera. The only issue that I had with them was applying them on the inner corners of my eyes because I don't have a lot of lashes there naturally. So there really wasn't anything for them to stick to. So I felt like there was an unsightly gap there that would normally be filled perfectly fine by a pair of strip lashes. So that was the only thing that really threw me off about these, but they lasted really well. And on top of that, they were really easy to remove. So all of my qualms about that big bottle of remover were thankfully they were not rooted in truth. Let's just put it that way. And I had a great experience with the whole system, and it's absolutely one that I would use if I were not filming, if I were not wearing lashes every day, if I just wanted something that was really quick and easy. This would definitely be a product that I would use, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is looking for something like lash extensions, but doesn't want to pay a salon a lot of money to get them. You don't want to spend time to do the refills for them, because I mean, let me tell you, that gets expensive in itself. But if you're looking for something like that, I think you'd really enjoy this system. So those are all my favorites from 2020. I will try to have all of them listed and linked for you below in the description box. Sometimes it can get a little bit hairy because YouTube doesn't like it when you get real wordy down there and they'll cut you off, but I will try in the event that you want to reference this video in the future. Let me know what some of your favorite finds from 2020 were. I want to thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch. I'm wishing you a beautifully blessed Christmas Eve. Hopefully you can spend it with those that you love and just enjoy each other's company. I know that's what we are doing here. I will see you tomorrow for another video on Christmas Day, but I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for your time, and for taking the time to watch. I truly appreciate your support. See you again tomorrow.